What if it rained food? What if Earth was a cube? What if we had 9 lives? What if bits could fly? It's absurd. If money grew on trees, if we didn't have knees, if we walked through life slightly magnetical, it's absurd. Absurd Hypotheticals.
Hello everybody and welcome to Absurd Hypotheticals, the show where we overthink dumb questions so you don't have to. I'm your host Marcus Lehner, and I'm joined here today by Chris Yee and Ben Storms. Say hi, guys.
Hey, I'm Chris.
Hey, I'm Ben.
Guys, I'm finally back in town after my long and epic travels.
Ooh, epic travels.
You found the Golden Fleece?
No, I couldn't have found it in the crowd that was in Nashville. That place is popping, guys. That place is like
I hear.
4th of July every day.
Isn't it like the number one place for bachelorette parties, apparently, or something?
Oh my god, like literally every third group is a bachelorette party. I have never seen so many feather bows and glitter crowns and penis necklaces in my entire life.
Matching shirts? Lots of matching shirts?
Lots of matching shirts, lots of posing and laughing. But what caught my attention the most, besides it just being all this partying and bacheloretting going on, was just about anything apparently is just street legal as a party vehicle. Like, so the first one I saw, and I saw, they weren't in a parade or anything. These were just randomly strewn about the city. The first one I saw was something called a pedal bar.
Oh, I've heard about that.
It's basically like a trailer attached to like some other vehicle, like a truck or something, pulling it. And it's, imagine a oval bar with like seats around, like bike seats with pedals.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
So you can sit at this bike seat and pedal while you drink, while it drives you around the blocks.
Yeah.
Only, as far as my knowledge is, and what I was told, is that the pedals don't do anything. So it's like, I guess, for exercise.
And the
Like,
idea is that you can be drinking while also exercising, so the caloric impact is blunted.
that is not what I want to be doing with my life. The dehydration factor is doubled. I'll say that.
That is true. Yeah.
That is true.
But what else did I see? I saw like a huge tractor with a trailer behind it that was like set up like a bar plus dance floor. I saw a hot tub trailer. I saw a school bus where like the middle half was like the top was cut off about halfway down, and like the back they installed a bar where it was still covered, and then like the middle was for dancing and drinking again. I saw a horse-drawn carriage in the midst of all this that was done up like Cinderella-ish in the back. It was like a bulbous wrought iron cage kind of thing where people were sitting in also drinking. Just like literally anything you could have, any kind of like, if it had 4 wheels, or not even 4 wheels, so if it had wheels and could connect to a car and had any space to put people on it, you could drink on it and drive it around the streets of Nashville.
These are just on like normal streets, like going normal speed?
Like going like, I mean, city speed, so very slow.
Yeah.
But yeah, like just like everywhere.
Like you said a hot tub trailer. That wouldn't the water like splash around?
They were going pretty slow. Like it wasn't, they weren't going 30 miles an hour. They're going
Okay.
like, 5 miles an hour down the road. But that one also had like the hot tub was in the back. Plus there was, a dance floor a little bit and a bar installed on that trailer too. I mean, it looked like a really good time. I kind of wish I had known that was options that we could rent those things.
What were you in?
Sneakers.
Those are street legal.
Did they have a hot tub?
No. And it wasn't raining, so it wasn't even like, they weren't even like remotely damp either.
Right.
So just disappointment all around.
Are you saying that if it was raining, you would have called your shoes a hot tub?
If Ben asked me that way, yeah. If Ben put it to me exactly that way, and it had been raining and my shoes were wet, I would have said yes. But yeah, I guess I know if I ever go to a bachelorette party, I'll want it to be there. Odds are low, I admit.
Right.
Yeah.
But we have some other odds to talk about. And those odds are the odds of which Nintendo character would win in a fight. So the fighters we have selected for this week are Mario, from Mario.
You probably
Samus.
know it.
Samus from the Metroid series, the space lady in the orange jumpsuit. Armor suit. I'm not gonna say jumpsuit. And then Link from The Legend of Zelda, the man in green who's
The voiceless man.
The voiceless man in green who's most often confused and called Zelda.
Yeah.
So these are our 3 fighters that would win in a fight. We thought about a couple different ones, because Nintendo obviously has a lot of very popular characters.
Yeah, we knew that Mario was obvious.
Yeah,
He's like
Mario's
the
a
most
shoo-in.
iconic one. So yeah, Link is pretty iconic too. But so like those two, we were pretty sure of.
Yeah, I'm also far too much of a fanboy of Link to
Yeah,
not.
we weren't
not...
going to do this question and not let Marcus do Link.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And then it was just with Ben, who could have picked anybody and decided to go with Samus.
Much like in Super Smash Brothers, I could pick anyone and went with Samus. But yeah, we considered like Donkey Kong, but he doesn't really like sort of the way we decided to set the question was we would each pick a game and use their like powers from that game, because obviously all these characters have many iterations of different games with lots of different powers, and we could use all of them and it would get really complicated. So when we're looking at Donkey Kong, he doesn't really have much in the way of abilities. He kind of jumps on things and punches them.
You can smash things.
Yeah, that's kind of it.
Yeah, he's basically a big strong ape, which can be a good
Right.
baseline in other fights. Like I was happy when we had the soda mascot fight that you were the polar bear
Oh, right,
from
yeah,
Coca-Cola,
right.
just because that was a very good like how strong are these people generally, because a polar bear is definitely strong.
Yeah.
But it depends. But I think in the Nintendo fight, a Donkey Kong would be a little bit outclassed.
Yeah.
And then we also considered Kirby, and Kirby, we were just like, that's going to get way too complicated.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Kirby can suck in enemies and then like
Take their powers.
right, which was just once again going to get way too complicated. so we decided Samus was a pretty good from the standpoint of having interesting things about her, a pretty good option.
Plus, Samus is cool. Like Samus also
yeah,
is cool.
Samus
Not
is
Samus
Samus
cool.
is cool. Yeah. She's literally a bounty hunter. Like she fits the best into this like hypothetical of probably anyone. So
Right, yeah.
Yeah, she's there for the money.
Like, she's a good fighter.
right.
Mario's there because he'll sign up for literally anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just look at all the games he's in.
He thought this was just another thing in the Olympics.
And then Link is there because he'll basically just put up with any kind of shitty side quest. He just like shrugs his shoulders, like, I guess this is my life now.
Also true.
So Chris, I'll let you start off. I'll let you start off with the iconic baseline.
Yes,
Mario.
I picked the most iconic one, Mario. So, like Ben said, we picked a specific game to choose our skill set. And I picked Super Mario Brothers 3. So that's one of the 2D ones, side scrollers. And a good place to start is, I guess, the power-ups that you can get in the game.
Is that why you picked Mario 3?
Sort of. So in Mario 3, you obviously have the basic mushroom, which makes you grow big. Not really that useful. And then you have the fire flower, which lets you throw fireballs. It's a little more useful, but that's in like a bunch of other games too. But I'll use it.
Don't turn it down,
I guess I'll consider
I'll
throwing
take
fire in my
fireballs.
fight here. Yeah, I guess I'll keep them.
There's a thing called a super leaf, which turns Mario into a raccoon Mario, which lets him glide. And then if you run and then jump, it lets you like fly for a short period of time. And he can also spin his tail to hit things with his tail and like kill things that way. And there's the Tanuki suit, which basically just the raccoon powers, but you can also turn into a statue to like kill enemies, I guess. Then there is the magic wing, which is basically just the raccoon powers again, only you have indefinite flight. So it's not just a short period of time, which it's probably more rare than just the normal raccoon stuff. The frog suit lets him swim easier, which is probably not going to be useful for me because I don't think we're swimming. It makes him like super slow on ground. So not
So it's a
using that.
drawback. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there is the hammer suit, which lets me throw hammers. And he has like a helmet so you can like hide in his helmet and block fireballs with that. And then the biggest one probably is the Starman, which if you've ever seen any Mario game, you've probably seen it. It's just a star that you get. It makes you turn invincible for a short period of time. And anything that you run into instantly dies.
Seems
Pretty good.
Pretty good. So I don't know exactly like how rare these things are. I assume in our scenario, these things are going to they're going to like match the rarity of what the game is.
I'd say they're available to you. I don't know if me or Ben are gonna. I think we have all our stuff.
Right, but I
hand.
wouldn't say that I have the Starman on demand and I can use it whenever I want.
We can say you have like one,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
like one to use.
So I have
when
one
you
use
want to.
of all of them, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are all of his power-ups. And that was a good place to start. But next I wanted to look at the physics of Mario because he can obviously jump really high And I think that's probably going to be one of his biggest advantages is just his maneuverability. He's usually pretty fast and acrobatic, and he can he's really good at traversal. So I took most of my information from this article on Tech Radar. They did a lot of like calculations and stuff. So in terms of jumping, so just to compare it to the real world, the highest standing jump is held by Christopher Spell, and he can jump 5'4" without any run up.
Jesus, is that like with like is that like and that's not a high jump. That's not like when you like arch your back over the bar.
No.
Well, a high jump you actually run and you arch over. This is just you're standing there, and then from a standing position you jump up and you have to land on the platform above.
Jesus. Okay.
So 5'4". Now Mario, his official height is he's 5'1". That's like the canonical height.
Wait, bullshit. I've seen Mario. Come on.
he's 4'6".
They're juicing that number.
It's based on, so there's like an official life-size, quote-unquote life-size Mario statue, and that statue is 5'1".
Sure.
With base, maybe.
And in the games, he can jump 5 times his height. So, and that's from a standing position too. So he can jump 25 feet high, which is pretty high, which is a good start. He can also, so the article used his height to like measure the horizontal distance too, so they can measure how fast he can run. And they found that he covers 49 feet in 3 seconds, it works out to about 11 miles per hour, which isn't, I mean, that's decent.
That's good, yeah.
So the fastest sprint, I think, is like around 27 miles per hour. But like if you're looking at endurance, the fastest marathon is 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 40 seconds. And that works up to about like 13 miles per hour. So he can hold his own with that in that range.
Okay. So he runs good and jumps good. Surprises.
And then one thing you probably know about Mario is that he can break bricks. Have you ever seen a Mario game where he jumps up and breaks a brick and gets power-ups or coin comes out or something? Sometimes he breaks them. And this article went in to mention that like a martial artist has to use about 3,000 newtons of force to break like a single slab of concrete. And the blocks of bricks that are in the game are about 4 layers deep. So it's 4 bricks on top of each other. And they said that in order to break that, you would need to generate 16,681 newtons. So that works out to about 3,750 pounds of impact force. So it's pretty strong.
Yeah, that's a good punch. I mean, yeah, I never thought about it actually breaking bricks.
Yeah. And then the raccoon tail can also break bricks, so it generates the same amount of force.
Karate tail.
Yeah, karate tail. So that's pretty much how fast and strong he is and how high he can jump. But then there is one little wrinkle in this, and that is that we're assuming that he's on Earth in these games, and that gravity is Earth's gravity. But there is a student paper that kind of analyzed this. It's called Acceleration Due to Gravity Super Mario Brothers. Pretty straightforward name.
This is what the professor's like, yeah, you can do your paper on anything as long as it involves physics. The student's like, anything? And the teacher's like, yeah, anything.
In the study, they basically just had Mario walk off a ledge, and they measured how long it took him to fall a certain distance. They did that for like a bunch of Mario games, and they compared them. But for Super Mario Bros. 3, they determined that the gravity is 9.42 times Earth's gravity. So it's almost 10 times Earth's gravity. He can do all of this. He can jump 25 feet in the air under that much gravity. So it's basically like a hyperbolic time chamber situation going on here, if you watch Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So based on the numbers in the game, in order to reach 25 feet of jumping height, his initial speed would have to be, like his initial speed when he's leaving the ground would have to be 84 miles per hour. If he were to jump that same speed on Earth, he would be able to jump 236 feet high.
Alrighty.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's a little better. And in the games, he actually has like mid-air control too. So he can jump that high and then he can like move around in the air, which is a little weird, but whatever.
He's got a little bit of midair control. He's got like he can drift left.
Yeah,
if he
it's not
tries.
like flying around, but he has some.
Oh, I guess he has a tail in Mario 3, right? So he does have a little bit better. So he has a slightly more maneuverability than
Right.
like just holding left in a platformer.
Right.
Okay.
And then I didn't know exactly how to convert his running speed based on the Earth's gravity, but there was a separate article that they use numbers from Super Mario World, which isn't the game I'm looking at, but Super Mario World is based on 5.5 times gravity, which is less gravity, obviously. And they said that he can run 32 miles per hour, which is actually faster than the fastest sprinting speed right now on Earth. So I imagine based on the 9.42 number, he can run even faster than that. I don't know what the number is, but he can run fast.
32 is very fast. Like for running?
Yeah, 32 miles per hour is very fast.
Yeah, that's good. That's definitely good.
So he can run super fast, he can jump super high, and I imagine his hitting power is increased too from the gravity thing.
Are you saying that Mario is Superman?
Well, no, because the hitting power wouldn't be increased because the breaking bricks has nothing to do with gravity.
Well, because he can generate the same amount of power or the same speed, I guess. I don't know.
He generates the same force, but has a
Yeah, he generates the same
faster
force.
launch.
Right, he exerts the same force on his fist, I guess, which
Well, but so he breaks them by jumping though.
he does break them by jumping, but he can also break by his tail.
Oh, fair.
So I'm pretty sure that makes it stronger if you reduce the gravity.
I actually don't think so.
I'm not. I'm not sure. Not by a lot. It gets weird when you start converting because gravity doesn't really affect that action because that action is almost entirely internal. Like it's based on like you standing still and hitting something. Gravity doesn't really is like not a negligible force in there most of the time.
Right.
It would make it easier for him to jump up and break bricks, but we already knew he was strong enough to do that.
Yeah, I guess it makes his his method of jumping up stronger. So if he tries to jump up and break something, it's more force because he's going faster.
He could break bricks up top easier in Earth gravity, but his max strength is about the same as what we're talking about.
No, I think he'd be able to break more bricks.
Break more bricks.
Like he'd be going faster
Oh, I see what you're saying, I think.
because gravity isn't pushing down on him as hard.
I guess it depends if you're asking if he breaks the bricks because he's just jumped so fast at them or if he's punching them.
Well, I think it's a little bit of both, but the jumping probably has a lot to do with it.
Okay.
Because he can't actually punch normally in the game. He has to jump.
This is a microcosm of what my brain goes through every time we do these episodes where I'm like, oh yeah, and then I'll make him go twice as fast. Wait, no, would it? Hold on.
Right.
So
yeah.
punching is like this and gravity is like this. And the numbers I have are based on this stupid snippet. So that snippet doesn't really apply here. How does physics work?
It doesn't. That's the big joke.
So that's Mario. Ben, you looked at Samus.
Yes, so I went with Samus Aran, who I looked up so many ways how to actually pronounce Samus's last name.
Yeah, it doesn't sound right.
It's said in one of the games as Aaron, so I'm gonna go with that. But man, I don't know.
Samus Aaron.
Well,
only
it's
one
spelled
A.
A-R-I-N, right?
A-R-A-N.
A-R-A-N.
So people say like Aran, which is clearly wrong. But like, I think my mind is always more like Aran. I don't know.
There's no U in there, though. There would be U in there if it was Orin.
Yeah, but apparently it's Aaron. So we're just gonna go with Aaron. I don't know, whatever. Specifically for the game I used Metroid Samus Returns, which is a remake of Metroid 2 Return of Samus. Real creative title in there, guys, on the remake. It was remade on the DS in 2017. So Samus, as I mentioned before, is an intergalactic bounty hunter. She's actually not fully human. I didn't realize this. I never had looked into like the backstory fully of.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So basically, the colony she lived on was attacked by space pirates when she was like 3, and she was the only survivor. And she got rescued by this race of bird-like sage aliens called the Chozo, and they infused her with their DNA and raised her.
That's weird.
Yeah. So she's actually not entirely human. So she actually is like somewhat
part bird
superhuman. Well,
Can you do that after they're born already to put DNA in someone?
apparently if you are a race of sage-like bird people, you can. They can figure it out. I don't know. But regardless, Yeah, she's like 6'3", 198 pounds. She's big.
And in this corner, 6'3" and 178 pounds.
Is that with or without her suit?
That is without the suit. I guess it kind of varies. So that was as like from the original Metroid, that was her like listed height. She's been shown as smaller in a couple of recent games, but in Samus Returns, which I think is the most recent Metroid game, they brought her back to being like 6 feet tall. So I think in like one of the weird offshoot ones, they made her like about 5 feet tall so she looked better in cutscenes. I don't know. It was a whole weird thing. I went down this rabbit hole. I don't know. Anyway, she is big, strong, beefy, and not entirely human.
So she's kind of like an Amazon.
Pretty much, yeah. And actually sort of going along with that, not quite as impressive a jumper as Mario, but outside of the suit, she can jump roughly twice her height, apparently, so that's roughly 12 feet. So, once again, not as good as Mario, but
yeah,
still...
what planet was that on, Ben?
Yeah, is that on Earth or was that in space?
Well, funny you should mention that. So, we're not going to actually use this, but you brought up the different gravity thing. So, the planet she was raised on, Zebes, the mass is listed as 4.8 trillion teratons.
Wait a minute, that's really big. That's the wrong number.
Well, yeah, so
That has Terra in it.
that makes that's roughly 4.8 septillion tons, whereas Earth's mass is 5.9 sextillion tons, which gives it a gravity approximately 960 times greater than Earth's.
So she can jump 11 feet there. So
People think it's probably a typo, but it does have. I think that like the assumption is that it is probably higher, but no one's sure exactly how much. I think if you directly use it as kilograms instead for what they say, it works out to like 3 or 4 times higher or something. But she's a jumper. Point order. There we go. Regardless, the bigger thing with Samus, she has a power suit. Technically, the Chozo Battlesuit version SA1 4468 VM6P.
in case you are about to get confused with all the very other similar battle suits with other
They have very similar. They have
designations.
similar but slightly different code names. I'm assuming. So yes, you could know. But this was also given to her by the Chozo. It's not just like an armor suit. It actually like bonds with her biologically while it's active. And you don't put it on like armor. It kind of just materializes from energy, like with a flash, which is cool.
That is cool. Also, she's getting even more DNA up in her biz, apparently.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. Later in the timeline, they infuse her with like other alien DNA. I don't know.
Why does she need more?
They just keep. I don't know. It's a whole thing.
It's a melting pot.
Yeah,
she's gonna have a kid. It's gonna be like an alien bird in a spacesuit.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's just gonna be a spacesuit.
Yeah,
it's just a
spacesuit.
helmet. Just a little helmet.
But the power suit, the big thing about it is that because of the way it works, it can basically just assimilate any like technological upgrade, including ones not designed by the Chozo. It's not like it can use ones designed for it. It can like assimilate other technology. It's assimilated like technology designed by space pirates before and stuff. So it can that's sort of where her upgrades come from, is kind of just like absorbing other technology. So one of the ones I'll be using for this that comes up in Samus' Return, or Return of Samus, whichever one. Samus Returns. God damn it. Nintendo, why did you do that?
They named them so simply, Ben. Why can you not get them straight?
Nintendo has always been bad with names.
It's so bad. Anyway, it is an upgrade to the suit called the Gravity Suit, which basically lets her like move through abnormal gravity and stuff. And more importantly, it just like makes it better armor. And more importantly, for like Mario specifically, it negates damage sustained by touching magma, which I think will do something with the Fire Flower. So just put that out there. Anyway, for weapons, the big one is the arm cannon. It's a cannon on her arm. Complicated, I know.
Is it on her arm or is it her arm? I guess her arm isn't.
So her arm is in this. It is like the arm of the suit, basically. The right arm is like a cannon. One thing I didn't realize about the arm cannon, the range is only listed as 3 to 10 meters. Which isn't actually that far.
Yeah,
that's not
short.
For shooting. That's nowhere.
It's like 30 feet.
A slingshot has a better range than 10 meters.
Yeah, I was really confused. I looked around a lot, but I couldn't. That was the number I kept seeing. So I think that's it. It seems wrong, but like they describe it as a highly effective offensive tool. But I don't know, guys. That's not very far.
Also, can she like switch it back to her normal hand, or is she only limited to using her left hand?
No, just the left hand, yeah. But the arm cannon can also have further upgrades to the beam it fires out, which it just sort of is like a nondescript unlimited energy source, which cool guys, thanks, whatever. So she can charge it up, which basically she just sort of like charges it and it like does a lot more damage. There's the ice beam, which she can freeze enemies with. There's the wave beam, which fires quote unquote wave energy and goes through walls. I don't know. It's probably radiation. It sounds like radiation.
Yeah, it's just gamma radiation.
So I assume all these have the same range.
Yes.
Okay.
There's the spazer beam, which
Laser,
is
that's a cool word.
laser with an SP at the front, which just splits the beam into 3 parts. I don't know. That's kind of all it does. And there's the plasma beam, which goes through enemies and can weld metals together, apparently. I don't know. So there's that. She can fire missiles, too. Those are limited. They are not homing. So I think that was sort of one of the decisions when I was choosing the game. Sometimes they are homing. Here they are not. They just fire straight. There's also super missiles, which are better missiles.
They really are just that.
So the only like thing I can find for like how strong they are in sort of understandable terms in the game, there are these doors made out of cordite, which it's apparently a like powder made mostly of nitroglycerin, but there's some processing procedure that makes it like a really dense solid they use for doors that in the game they're just doors you can't unlock until you have a super missile.
But they actually do more damage to enemies, right?
Yeah. But like this material in the game is strong enough that like regular missiles don't hinder it, but the super missile like blows up in one shot.
Right.
So they're strong.
So they use a real material for what those doors are made of? That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, so apparently cordite was like it was like a gunpowder substitute. Hold on. I looked at this up at one point.
Gunpowder substitute.
Yeah, it was a family of smokeless propellants developed and produced in the UK to replace gunpowder as a military propellant.
Doesn't seem like a good material to make a door out of.
Yeah, I don't know why they said. I think this is one of those weird like translation things. Is all I can figure out. Because they mention, like, in the description from the game, they say that it is proposed of nitroglycerin, which, once again, is very reactive.
Yeah, you would think, like, a regular missile, or, I don't know, like, a stiff breeze would make that door
Right,
explode.
and that's where they say, just, like, there's an elaborate procedure, hand wave, that makes it strong. I don't know.
Maybe what it is that you need a big enough explosion to counter the explosion the door makes when it opens.
Basically,
it's unsafe to let it explode on its own.
Exactly.
You need a controlled explosion.
Yeah, you need a second explosion to block the first explosion from killing you.
Also, where does she store the missiles?
The missiles, it's kind of unclear. They're kind of just
like the energy things make sense. You don't really have to store that.
So in the games, you can get like missile. You can basically increase the number of missiles you can hold. And there's like it's like missile. What do they call them? Like missile. Not pods. Missile something. Can I find it relatively? Hold on.
Missile backpack.
I think the idea is they like attach around. They like lock. They're like on the outside. There's like pods on the outside of the arm or something that have the missiles in them, and you can find more of them. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that line.
Video game inventory.
Yeah, video game inventory is basically what it comes down to. Everything else makes sense, kind of, aside from the infinite energy source. But another thing she can do, there's the morph ball. She can roll up into a ball. It's not actually that useful. So she can like lay little bombs while she does it, but that's it. There's also the power bomb, which is like a really big bomb, but
See, that one's good. I was gonna say there's the big bomb.
Yeah,
though,
there's the
when you're-
big
when you're
bomb,
a little ball.
which is
You can make
good.
a really big bomb.
yeah, but like it's a sphere that's like 0.8 meters in diameter, and she's kind of in that, and that's it.
Not useful for a fight.
Right. Well, so there is the one thing that does come along with the ball is the space jump, which the space jump. This is the biggest of all hand wavy things in Metroid. The space jump just lets her jump infinitely.
You just keep jumping.
She can just jump forever as long as she's in the ball form. I don't really know. They don't even try to explain how it works.
Wait, is it only in ball form?
I thought it was like a different form. I didn't know it was a ball.
She curls into the ball when she's space jumping.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So I guess the other thing as well is that this might be what you're going to. There's also the screw attack.
That's the one.
Yes, which
Yeah,
turns the
that's
space
what I was
jump into an attack where she's just like, I don't know, she's like kicking while she's spinning in the space jump. I don't know. But she's...
It's like a lightning energy, I thought. Like, it's like an energy field around her.
Yeah, I think it depends on the game, how they describe it.
Okay. Is one of them just kicks?
No, and one of them, it was like, oh man, hold on, can I find it? I don't think I wrote it down because it was too stupid. I wasn't going to mention it, but now I want to say it. Hold on.
But now it's really dumb.
Yeah, now it's so dumb. It's like, oh, where'd it go? It's not even explain it. The super strong power item spins in flight to attack the enemy. It's like a thing that all it says is that she spins. It just says that she's spinning.
There's no energy involved.
Okay, official Nintendo Player's Guide. If Samus jumps while running, she starts spinning. If you use the strategy, you can destroy your enemies. That's not helpful. It's just literally she is spinning and then she hits them and they die. I don't know. Regardless, it's just she spins. She spins and it hurts people. That's all I know.
Spins and kicks.
Yeah, we'll say that. It's fine. It's good enough. A couple more things that are specific to this game as well, because those kind of are more general things that Samus generally has. One, she has the melee counter, which is basically just like she can uppercut someone with the arm cannon right as she's about to get a hit, and it stuns them and fully charges the arm cannon for a charge shot. So that's cool. And then also there's this limited resource like special power-up abilities called the Aeon abilities, which there's there's the burst beam, which is like a machine gun style, like rapid fire. There's like a scan pulse that just like scans the environment. There's lightning armor, which just is like an extra like energy armor outside of the regular armor. And then most kind of brokenly in this context, there's phase drift, which just has this rate of time basically. So it slows down time by 50%, which is cool.
Just for everyone else, not her, I assume.
Yes, yeah. She moves at regular speed. Everyone else slows down. Yeah, those are all, I did say, so those are limited by this like Aeon energy, which she gets by like, it's like, oh man, how's it even work? It's like, it comes out of the enemies because of the environment of the planet. I don't know. Metroid.
There's a lot of holes in this writing.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but it's a fun game. Just trust me, guys.
Trust me, guys, it'll be fine.
Yeah. But I say these are obviously, I'm going to say these are quite limited, and she can't like just, constantly use them, definitely. And it's like, once it's gone, it's gone. So that's pretty much what she has. She is in a battle suit and is also like a, terrifying Amazon woman who can jump to the moon. Like literally. Marcus, what'd you do?
All right, so my character was Link. So I picked the Ocarina of Time version. I think that's the most iconic classic Link. And so first off, I'm going to just say that no matter what happens, it's going to take a long time to kill Link. So in Ocarina of Time, Link gets magic power, and he can do a couple things with his magic power. He learns a couple of magic spells through the course of the game. He can do like a spin attack with his sword, where he like kind of just makes a bigger circle around him and spins around, kind of like a screw attack based on the description.
Pretty much, yeah. But with a sword.
But he can't fly with it.
Cannot fly.
He can also use it to enchant arrows, like fire, ice, and light arrows, which I think are good against evil things. I don't consider either of you two evil, so I don't think that one's going to be super helpful. He has probably the next useless one is Ferori's Wind, which lets you put kind of like a shining green orb in a dungeon, and then you can teleport to it by casting it again. So I guess you have a one spot teleport if you need it.
It's not the worst.
Yeah, if you need to retreat.
Yeah, it might have usefulness.
Yeah.
Some more directly applicable ones. Din's Fire, which is basically he just slams his hand on the ground and a dome of fire emits out from him. Probably like in a 3 to 10 meter radius. And then the last one, which is what I was talking about him being tough to kill, is Nairu's Love, where he casts it and then he's invisible for a period of time, approximately a minute, which is quite a while in a fight.
Oh wow,
that's actually a long time.
Yeah.
And he can cast it like 4 times with his magic meter.
Damn it.
So he could theoretically, if he wants to, have like 4 minutes of invulnerability.
But he would have to choose that over other powers.
Right. So when you're using one, you can't use the other magic powers.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to that, he also has bottles, and the only thing that's ever worth putting in the bottles is fairies. So Link can have up to 4 bottles in Ocarina of Time, and each of these bottles can have a fairy in it. And what the fairies do is, if Link dies, they revive him.
Oh no. So
kill me 4 times, shame on you. Kill me 5, and then I'm actually dead.
What's the maximum number of hearts that you can get with them?
So you can get 20 hearts, and then you can reinforce them with the fairy thing. So it's effectively 40 hearts. I was going to go into how much a heart is worth, and I decided that I didn't need to be much beefier.
Yeah, that's fair.
And also the things in the game are really inconsistent about like how much damage they deal to you. Like a sword swing can deal like a heart and a half, and then like walking on lava can deal like a quarter of a heart.
Right.
So it's like not consistent at all. So then what Link doesn't have is all the running and jumping that you guys have. But that doesn't stop him from having one ridiculous item in this game, which is the golden gauntlets. So you get these at the very last level of the game, and basically it's a strength upgrade. And you get a few of these over the course of the game. When you're a kid, you get a bracelet, the Goron bracelet, that lets you pick up like, you know, rocks and
basically just makes them
bombs that are probably
stronger.
like 20 pounds-ish or so.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to be, you know, your adult Link, and you can lift up bigger rocks with the silver gauntlets. And those are already big rocks. Those are like going to be like, they're rocks that are about as high as you are. The golden gauntlets, there's only like 2 or 3 of these rocks in the game that you can pick up. But they are like these humongous marble pillars. So using some screenshots to estimate, the rocks he's able to lift are about 8 links tall and 3 links in diameter. So assuming Link is about 6 feet tall, which I think is a safe assumption, it's a 48-foot tall, 18-foot diameter column of granite. Of marble. So remind me, Chris, what Mario's force output was?
Let's see. Where was it? It was 3,750 pounds.
Okay. So the weight of this granite column is going to be 2 million pounds, which means Link can generate 2 million force pounds of force. So you don't want to get punched by Link.
That's fair. Yeah.
I think the limiting factor on Link is that he would use his weapons, and he would have to very daintily swing his sword and pull his bow back, because otherwise he would just break them. So the other thing that so I think what the strategy is, which you don't get to explore in the game, is I think your strategy is to throw bombs. So Link gets like bowling ball sized bombs. So Link's power output is 9.2 million newtons of force, and basically when you throw something, you can apply that force for however long you're accelerating it for. So force is mass times acceleration. So I went to the stats for professional baseball, and it takes approximately 0.017 seconds for a pitcher to throw a fastball. So if we can apply, say, half of that force, because you're only using one of your arms, for 0.01 seconds on a 16-pound bomb, the speed that it will leave your hand is 23,600 miles an hour. So it's gonna be, I'm not sure how good his aim is, although he does have the Z targeting in the game, which I'm not sure if I buy into, because it's literally just the fairy that he has with him like flies around his enemy, and it kind of draws his attention there.
It's like, ooh, shiny.
But yeah, Link can throw a bomb at 23,601 miles an hour if he is so inclined. And so I was a little sad because I knew you guys were going to be jumping all over the place, but Link doesn't actually have a jump button. It turns out with his ridiculously strength, it's not that Link can't jump. It's that even with his Triforce of Courage, he dare not jump. If we take that full 9.2 million newtons of force and apply it over about the same time frame as the baseball throw, just because I feel like they're similar motions, and do it as a jump, he would launch himself 331 kilometers into the air. To put that into perspective, space is only 100 kilometers away.
So the way we win is by getting Link to jump.
Yeah, you have to spook him from behind and have him do a jump scare. I do have a note here in my notes that this calculation neglects air friction. You absolutely cannot neglect air friction.
Right.
If you're jumping at thousands of miles an hour, you will burn up into a crisp. So if anyone's wondering why Link doesn't get a jump button like all the other characters, it is because he will launch himself into space and die.
Doesn't he have a jump button in Breath of the Wild?
He does, but that's not this game.
Yeah.
He doesn't get the golden gauntlet in that game.
Right.
A couple other things that he has that are, and I'm just going to finish up my list here. A couple other things that he has are useful. The mirror shield, which is able to reflect light and magic. So I don't know what energy beams classify as. They're like...
That's pretty firmly science, in my opinion.
But they're kind of made of light energy, kind of. I don't know what fuck wave energy is. So we can argue whether laser beams and stuff count as things the mirror shield can reflect, but fireballs definitely can be reflected.
That's fair.
And then also the Master Sword kind of does similar. The Master Sword can deflect specifically Ganondorf's energy blasts. So the sword and the shield can deflect those types of energies. He has a bow and arrow. He has, obviously, his sword and shield. He has a Megaton hammer, which is a big hammer. But based on his strength level, I don't think he needs it. I think it's just irrelevant that he has a big hammer to swing around. The weight of the hammer is going to be like a non-factor, just by order of magnitudes. He's got Deku nuts, which are basically just like flash grenades. There's these nuts he throws on the ground and they explode. He's got the, I don't think it's relevant, but he has the Lens of Truth, which he can look through and see hidden or invisible objects. He's got bombs, and then bomb chews. And bomb chews are like these bombs that go on the ground, and then they look like little mice, and they run along the ground and then explode. He's got he's got iron boots, like heavy boots, that let him stay underwater, and he has hover boots, which let him float for like half a second. Again, not super useful. And then lastly, he has the ocarina, which has a bunch of like magical songs in it, but what it is that probably the only useful, like some of them teleport around the world, which are not helpful. Probably the only helpful song in it is that it can create a thunderstorm if he needs it. So that's probably the only song that's worth doing on the ocarina.
You'll have to stop and play a song on an ocarina for it to happen, which...
Yeah,
it's not going to be great.
Yeah.
It's not, so the ocarina is probably not it.
I will say you could, if Mario and Samus are just off fucking jumping, like, forever, you could just play a song to, like, get them out of the sky with a thunderstorm.
Well, I don't think you can play a song in space, because sound doesn't travel in space. But that's where you can use Ferrari's wind. You can you can set a warp spot on Earth. Then
just
jump.
in case you accidentally jump.
Yep.
then you jump attack. Then you miss, because sometimes that happens. And then you just warp back.
I like that it sounds like technically if any of us jumps into another one, the other one will die. For different reasons.
Yeah. So that's what Link's got. So I guess my first question, I think I have a bomb I want to throw at somebody. How are you guys going to evade my bomb?
I jump.
So this is something we'll probably get into in the behind the scenes. I'm not going to argue on it that much right now, but he doesn't actually throw it that fast in the game.
Right. He's being very gingerly so he doesn't lose all his bombs.
Okay. We'll argue about it later. I mean, thinking right now, I kind of wish I had picked a different game. Because I picked... There was another game I was considering that had better power-ups.
Oh, you didn't think Link was going to be strong. You didn't realize Link lifts.
Well, I didn't think, like, both of your jumping abilities would be as good as mine.
Oh, did you think that having, like, the flight would be an ace in the hole?
Or just, like, my maneuverability would be an ace in the hole.
Right.
So is Mario... So, wait, no, because Mario can also fly infinitely.
Yeah.
So is Link's 331-kilometer jump the worst one?
That's actually probably true.
Yeah. I feel like... Actually, I don't remember how the flying mechanic works in Mario. Because, like, Samus, you have to keep on pushing it and you, like, bounce up sort of in the air, right?
You, like, jump at, like...
You can get infinite height, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you have to jump, like, as you're starting to drop down from the top of the jump or something.
Yeah.
There's, like, a timing to it. So I'd say I can just jump away and, like, shoot at you. But once again, that 3 to 10 meter range is kind of a problem.
Yeah, but I don't have a lot of ranged attacks to get to you. I would have to get close.
Yeah. And Link is a problem.
I loved these big numbers.
Those are very large numbers.
Just based on what we've said so far, I think Mario's probably going to lose.
Yeah, Mario feels like, unfortunately, the weakest of the three. A poor spokesman's job on his part, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know. Well, Nintendo's supposed to be like a happy company, non-violent.
This is true.
So
right.
That's my excuse.
Which is why they put so many bombs and swords and bow and arrows and things in Legend of Zelda.
And have one of their flagship characters' backstory be that her entire colony was murdered, like, in front of her. Yeah.
Right.
I also like, by the way, one of the greatest, like, little things about Metroid. So obviously it's kind of it was originally kind of like a secret that Samus was a woman. The manual for the original Metroid actually refers to Samus as he throughout it. And it was only like...
Did they change it retroactively, or was that the plan all along?
No, that was because, like, so
They revealed it in the first game, right?
Yeah. If you
okay.
100% it, she takes the armor off and it's a woman.
Right.
But I think the idea is just that she was dark and mysterious. Yeah, I feel like Link is really good. Link is quite strong.
Link is this might be one of those fights where there's just not much competition going on.
I also don't necessarily buy your jumping thing, but that doesn't help you in the fight, so I don't care about that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not trying to jump at you. He is ridiculously strong though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I'll give you.
That's reasonable, and I think that's sort of the well, it's the combination of the ridiculous strength and the being able to come back from the dead repeatedly. It's a pretty good combo.
He has a lot of health. There are a lot of Mario, 3D Mario games where he punches really big things and breaks them, and he lifts really big things, but I didn't pick them.
All right. So, is there any way Samus wins?
I mean, I think there's a path for Samus to win, because Samus does have a decent amount of health too, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly how much she has.
It's weird to quantify.
She has different energy containers, right?
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Yeah, she has an energy shield that lasts some amount of time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I feel like you're almost on. You're not quite at Link's level on that, but you are close.
Yeah. So I guess the question is really, can she get close enough to use the beams? So okay, the ice beam is helpful because the ice beam freezes people, which makes things a lot easier if you ice beam into super bomb.
And that is a thing that happens in the game in Ocarina
Exactly,
of Time.
yeah.
He does get frozen.
Yeah, and Link is not. Yeah, Link gets frozen very. He touches ice and he's like, ah!
It's actually a little upsetting now that I think about it, how easily and frequently it gets frozen. So I guess that's her main route is freezing.
You can slow down
and
time too.
That also that's a very very good help. Yeah. So it's basically
Yeah. So now my bomb's only going 10,000 miles an hour. That's gonna be helpful.
So all right. So is there any way Mario wins? I feel like if there is, it involves the Starman.
It would involve luck, probably.
I guess what's Mario's offense?
Mario's offense, I mean, he jumps on people. Or he can swing his tail at people. And he has the fireballs, but it doesn't really... I guess it can hurt Link, but it doesn't really hurt Samus.
Yeah, not particularly.
Yeah, the fireballs are I think me and Ben both planned for the fireballs.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Half the reason I chose this particular game is that it mentions that the gravity suit in this one does negate magma damage.
I guess my path to victory involves the invincible star.
Yeah, that's kind of So the tough thing with that is that you have to get lucky to get Samus with it because it's a limited time thing, and she can just jump away.
Right, but I can jump too. And am I faster than you? I might be faster than you.
You might be faster, that's true.
And I think the star makes him faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, the star does pick up your speed in most games. So you could theoretically catch up with Samus.
Right.
God, I didn't realize my brother said Link is really ridiculous.
Link is quite ridiculous.
I thought I was gonna need a lot of help until I went down this Golden Gauntlets path.
Yeah, that kind of does it.
So I was like, oh man, I gotta really have my fairies to revive me, and I'm gonna have to do some crazy figuring out how to use my items effectively to counter their ridiculous powers. Oh, actually, calling back to a previous podcast episode, Ben, you covered the hook shot, right?
I did.
And part of the reason the hook shot didn't work is because it would tear Link's arm off.
Oh, this makes a lot of sense now.
Link could have an infinitely powerful hook shot, and it would be fine. He would be just fine.
Yeah.
Link is A-okay.
The hook shot is not the thing that's broken.
Right, exactly.
So I think Mario could kill either of you with the star. He just can't kill both of you. He has to choose one.
Yeah.
And he can only kill me a finite number of times before it runs out.
Right.
Oh yeah, you can revive yourself.
Yeah, no, I'm not broken. Don't worry. I'm just fine over here. This is why Link's not allowed in crossover games.
Let's see. I forget, how does Mario 3 work? Does he have an inventory? Can he how many stars can he hold? Because I know some of them have inventories that you can stock up on stars.
I don't think can you actually...
I don't remember if Mario 3 does or not.
I also can't... Is the star an item you can store?
You can in some of the newer ones.
Oh, some of the newer ones you can. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, here's the way to beat Link. I'm now on your guys' team. So Mario's got to use the star to knock Link out the one time. So you gotta get lucky and get Link to knock out Link the one time. Then when Link is the fairy's reviving Link, Samus comes in with the ice beam.
Yep.
And then chain freezes Link until you can knock him out enough times that he can't do anything.
I mean, is there a limit to Samus's ice beam?
No, actually.
Could she just constantly do that?
It is also unlimited.
Yeah, so she can just constantly keep Link frozen.
The only trick in that is that if Link casts the Nairu's Love, he now has 1 minute where he's unaffected by all these things and is also invincible.
And Samus jumps.
And Link jumps. Oh wait, no, that doesn't work in that order
doesn't,
because
yeah.
I can't. Because I would be using the Nairu's Love invincibility.
Yeah, you have to choose.
Which wouldn't let me use the wind, so it wouldn't have my teleport back.
So you just fly away infinitely into like the sun or something?
So you jump away, and then Mario would also have to jump away for a minute, because I don't kill him in the meantime. And then you guys are up in the air, and then I'd still have bows and arrows and things, basic stuff. But you could theoretically avoid that for long enough, and come back down and just run it back.
Yeah, so I think your invincibility winds up, because of our mobility, winds up being
kind of useless.
Like, it's something you can use to like save yourself from a missile or something, but that's kind of it.
Yeah, it'll gain you a few seconds, but
yeah, once you hit it, we're probably just peacing out for a minute.
Yeah.
So I mean, it lasts like a ridiculously long time too, which is 4 minutes again is a long time. Like 1 minute times 4 is a long time in a fight.
Yeah, but fortunately, unlimited jumping.
Yeah, we can avoid you pretty easily. So that you using that basically just stops the fight for 4 minutes.
Exactly. So the invincibility is not really a problem. I guess, yeah, there's a path there.
Mario and Samus would have to team up. I think after you use your invincibility thing, Samus just freezes you and Mario keeps on punching you while you're frozen.
Yeah, and then it's just chaining the ice, like just continuously frozen, continuously taking damage.
Yeah.
Until he dies. So that's like 1%.
I give a little more.
What are
you always would.
So what are the odds? All right, I feel like
What are the odds that Mario and Samus would realize they have to team up?
I'm not convinced that Mario has to be a part of it.
Yeah, that's true too. I think Samus could do it on her own.
Yeah, with some combination of bombs and missiles and super missiles and the fucking big bombs, power bombs. I think I found it.
So Mario can't do it on his own.
Yeah.
He can kill Samus on his own. He can't kill Link on his own.
Yeah. So I think Mario's path is Samus stunlocks Samus stunlocks Link and kills him. And then Mario sneaks up and stars
kills
Samus.
Yeah, I just let you guys fight, and then I kill Samus.
Yeah. So I guess what are the odds that Samus can get to and freeze Link using, I'm assuming by slowing down time and just getting close enough to use the ice beam?
I would say Samus has
I was thinking somewhere between 5 and 10.
Yeah, I was gonna say 10%, but I feel like Mark is gonna fight me on that.
I'm okay with the 5% because if you guys just start in the air in kind of a ceasefire, it is tough for Link to make any progress.
Right.
And it's not like there's no risk for Link on the ground while you guys are up there. Missiles could be coming down. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's just a lot of risk points in between.
Exactly. I'm fine with 5%.
5%. And then I'll give Mario 1%.
I'm gonna say it is. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, fine. Yeah, we can do that.
94% Link.
94% Link, 5% Samus, and 1% for giving the good old college try to Mario.
Again, we'll argue about your bomb thing in the behind the scenes. If you want to hear that, go behind the scenes.
Yep.
Support us on Patreon.
Yeah, do that. That's the one. You have to go to the Patreon. You have to sign up for the Patreon first. First, you have to give us money. You have to give us money to listen to Chris yell at me more.
Yeah. Not going to do it here. So this week, I have a Would You Rather for you guys.
Ooh.
Awesome.
So Marcus, would you rather be able to read 10 times as fast or be able to write 10 times as fast?
Ooh, interesting. Okay. First off, thank you, Chris. For all the times that you guys have had Would You Rathers, you've never directed it at me first. So this is the first time I get to start the conversation on a Would You Rather.
I think I've only asked one before, and I just chose Ben that one time.
Yeah, that was sad for me. So I appreciate that I get the answer first. Immediate question.
Yes.
Writing 10 times as fast. Does that prevent writer's block?
Let's say yes.
Okay. Now we're in.
That changes things.
That does change things a lot.
Oh man, that's really hard.
So I would say you read way more often than you have to write.
I think generally the reading is more useful. Me personally, I really like to or would like to write a lot more. Like I always want to write like board game design articles, or write up episodes of, like do like written things of this podcast, or write just like I have a lot of ideas and I really like to share them. And I wish that I had like the writing gumption or, you know, disposition to really, you know, continuously write and get things done and do like a blog of just shit that I write about. But every time when I sit down to write, I'll start, and sometimes I write like a good page or two, and then just like I hit a block, or I just like don't go back and proofread it, and it ends up sitting in my Google Docs folder forever. I have like 5 or 6 different articles in my Google Docs that I've written that I would love to, like, that are like 80% done that I would love to finish, and then have just forgotten about. So being able to write as fast as I can think would be sweet. I can read as fast as I can think. I just can't write as fast as I can think.
The way I see it, writing is like way more productive. Obviously, you're creating something, but reading, you just do it every day without really thinking. So you'd probably save more time in general if you're reading fast, but you're producing more useful things if you're writing fast. And obviously, me as an author, writing's pretty important.
But don't you want to savor that writing, Chris? Don't you want to savor it?
The thing is, part of the writing process is also editing, and I have to read my stuff to edit it. So reading would also help that process.
Oh, and the editing's the painful part, so that feels like that should be over faster.
Yeah.
I'm going to come in hard for reading over writing in this one.
I don't know why, but I just imagined you as like the first day of school as a 3rd grade teacher, where you're just like, all right, I'm going to come in hard reading over writing this year.
I feel like, yes, writing very quickly would be excellent. Like that, I'm not going to dispute that being very useful. However, like you said, in day-to-day life, I don't actually write that much. But if I could read 10 times as fast, I would know so much more shit than I do right now. Because just think about how many, like, ignoring, like, reading for pleasure, obviously, because that's, you know, cool or whatever, but whatever. But, like, if you could read, like textbooks 10 times as fast.
Or, like, research for this show.
Right.
10 times as fast.
That as well.
It's like researching for the show 10 times as fast, or writing our notes 10 times as fast.
I think the research is the more important part here most of the time.
Yeah.
You know?
And plus, if you can read 10 times as fast, like when you hit like that scientific paper that has the information you need, and then you have to be like, okay, let me get through this.
Right. So imagine it's certainly happened to me where I find a paper that's relevant to what we're talking about, and it's like 40 pages long, and I'm like, nope.
Unless it's about economics, in which case you're like, oh yes, yummy.
Then yes, I will read half of that for some reason. I still don't really know why. But imagine if that was effectively just 4 pages. That's not much.
Yeah.
You know? That's great.
The thing is, I think you could probably make a career out of writing fast, though. Like, not just writing like books, but you could be like writing for other people. You could actually make money off of that.
You'd be the only bored teleprompter person.
Yeah, you could be a stenographer.
You'd be like the only board stenographer who's like, can you please talk faster, auctioneer? Please, come on. Yeah, I guess it's really just whether you value absorbing information or giving out information more. And I think I like to teach. I'm gonna stick with writing.
You're going with writing?
I'm going with reading.
I think, even though I'm a writer, I think I'm gonna go reading.
There we go.
I'm okay being that one out here.
I mean, both of these are good.
Yeah, both are very good.
They're both good things, and this one I think really leans to my personal preferences. So I'm not actually faulting you guys for picking reading.
Yeah.
Which is new for me. This new non-contrarian style that I'm going for. You can read all about it very quickly after I write this article in 14 seconds.
It's because you're saving all the arguing for the behind the scenes.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and pitch that again right away. We gave a little teaser of our self-promotion, but here it is again. Go to www.patreon.com/absurdhypotheticals and click on that, what is it, donate, subscribe button?
I actually don't know what it says.
Patronize. That seems too easy.
I don't want to patronize you, but hit that patronize button, and you get access to a lot of cool content.
It says become a patron.
There you go.
Cool. So hit the Become a Patron button. We have behind-the-scenes episodes every month where we do our whole month in review, talk about how we make the show. So do that. I very much appreciate it. If not, or money's tight, don't worry about it. You can always leave us a review on iTunes or Google Play or Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you don't want to do any of that, you can go ahead and just join us next week, where we answer the following question. What if you got 1% stronger every month